Ladies and gentlemen, Darnell, the Playmaker Sallins here from the Playmaker's Bar. And you're getting ready to listen to a brand new episode of Shooting Lights Out. And this episode, Shooting Lights Out, is being brought to you by Liz. Locker Room by Liz. Get your favorite hat, your favorite jersey, your favorite clothes to up your favorite team. And as of today, you can click our link down below for Liz.com and get 25% off site while using the code ZIP25. That is ZIP25 at Liz.com. Shop now, get it by Christmas. But also, Shooting Lights Out along with Under the Playmakers Bar brand is brought to you by Fanatics. And with Fanatics, shop your favorite teams, your favorite type of gear, your accessories, whatever it is, to rep your team, to rep your sport. Fanatics with sports fans shop. And for today only, get 65% off site wide using the promo code Modelo. That is Modelo, Modelo. Get 65% off on that link down below for Fanatics.com. That is Lids and Fanatics.com. Shop for your favorite team, your favorite sportswear. Get it by Christmas. Now let's get to it. Shoot it. Lights out.
Sound like some Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting Lights Out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shooting Lights Out on this December 5th, 2022. I am your host, Darnell, Playmaker Sallins here. I thank y'all for tuning in. Normally, I do some things. I'm changing it up today. Today is going to be an all college basketball talk. I'm going to recap the ACC Big Ten challenge for both the men and women, the final one that we'll ever see. I have a heat check in basketball to give you, and I have a flagrant foul to give you in college basketball. So that's what we're gonna do today. I appreciate y'all if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Let me know how you feel. Comment down below and whatnot. If you listen to the audio version is available on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, whatever you got, you name it. Shooting Lights Out is available to you on all those platforms. Leave a nice review. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if I need to get better at things. I'm ready to take the criticism as well as the praise as well. It doesn't bother me. It helps me get better in what I'm doing right now. So I appreciate the love. I appreciate everybody feeding back. But now let's get to it because we got to recap the Big Ten ACC challenge from last week because that's what I left y'all at. It's the final one that's going to happen because starting next season in the 2023 season, it will now be the ACC SEC challenge going forward. So this challenge is officially done for the SEC Big 12 challenge is next year. And when January gets close to the end of that month, that'll be the final Big 12 SEC challenge. And I will preview that and recap that when that takes place. But to begin things off, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with the ladies. As you can see here on your screen, those of you who are watching on YouTube, this right here is all the games that was going on when we was going to watch this challenge for the final time between the ACC Big Ten. As you can see here were your games spreading out in 2 days span. So let's get right into our recap. Starting off in November 30th, you see number 4 Ohio State went down to Louisville, Kentucky to take on the 18th ranked Louisville Cardinals. And as you can see, it was all Buckeyes, 96-97. Big win for the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Big Ten, giving them the 1-0 lead. As we keep moving forward, we had Illinois taking on Pitt. And down in Pittsburgh, Illinois took it 92-71. The Big Ten going up 2-0. Syracuse and Purdue got into it up in Indiana. West Lafayette, Indiana, and Purdue took it 87-73. That is 3-0 for the Big Ten, but don't look now because the ACC came back on. Boston College took down Worker 75-61. Virginia went down to Penn State and took them down 89-68. And Wake Forest finished the night with a big win in Minnesota 63-59, leaving both teams tied at 3 going into night 2. And in night 2, ladies and gentlemen, December 1st, we started off with Northwestern taking on Duke at Cameron Indoors, with the Duke Lady Blue Devils taking it 66-50, giving the ACC the 4-3 lead. Then we head up to Bloomington, Indiana, where it was the North Carolina Tar Heels ranked 6th in the country taking on the 5th ranked Hoosiers of Indiana, and it was not close. 87-63, the Hoosiers defend Assembly Hall with dominance. We are tied at 4 apiece with more games to go. And as you can see here, Maryland took the trip to South Bend to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The 20th ranked Terrapins take down an upset. Number 7, Notre Dame 74-72, giving the Big Ten the 5-4 lead. And then as we moved on, we had to head down to Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech Hokies ranked 9th in the country, hosting Nebraska, and it wasn't close. There's a reason why Virginia Tech was ranking. Nebraska's not. 85-54. We're tied at 5 apiece with 4 games to go. By the way, the goal for the ACC Big Ten Challenge, they play 14 games. 8 wins clinches it for whatever conference gets 8. So we at 5 apiece with 4 games to go. Which one of these schools can take out 3 out of 4 to win the challenge? That's when we head to Madison, Wisconsin. Excuse me. It was the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the Florida State Seminoles. The Florida State Seminoles, the Lady Seminoles are having a very surprising good year this year. If you're playing against Florida State, you better come prepared because these girls are not playing around. And Wisconsin found that out 92-87. Big win for the Seminoles on the road, giving the ACC the 6-5 lead. Then we got a top 12. We had a top 12 matchup at Iowa City, Iowa, where Katie Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes are looking to rebound and get on the winning trail as they host number 12, the NC State Wolfpack, and it just didn't happen. 94-81, NC State takes it, giving the ACC the 7-5 lead. And one that you don't see on your screen as of right now. Oh, there it is right here. All right, in the middle. I skipped over it. You had Georgia Tech and East Lansing, Michigan to take on the Michigan State Spartans, with Georgia Tech winning 66-63. 8-5 ACC. They won the challenge despite Michigan head down to Coral Gables, ranked 17 in the country, and beating the Miami Hurricanes 76-64. It didn't matter because the ACC had already hit the number 8 as they win the ACC Big Ten Final Challenge on the ladies' side, 8-6. Shout out to the ACC ladies stepping up, doing the bid for the ACC over the Big Ten. That was the ladies. How did the fellas do in the same challenge is the question. Let's see, because we're not going to shift over to the men's. See, the men's had 14 games, spending the call 3 days, unlike the ladies. The ladies spent off against 2. You had 3 days beginning on the 28th last Monday, the 29th, and the 30th for the men. And the men, the ACC jumped out to a 2-0 lead right out the gate. Virginia Tech taking down Minnesota at home 67-57. Pitt going on the road to take down Northwestern 87-58, 2-0 ACC lead going into the 2 big days. And then going on to Tuesday, November 29th, we saw Maryland continue the downfall of Louisville 79-54. putting the ACC up 3, putting the ACC up 2-1, putting the Big Ten on the board, should I say, putting the Big Ten on the board finally in that game. And then we head down to Death Valley to Clemson, South Carolina, where Penn State paid a visit to the Clemson Tigers. A very great game, a very compelling game, double overtime. The Clemson Tigers take it 101 to 94 from double overtime, giving the ACC the 3-1 lead. But the Big Ten would not go down quietly as Syracuse was at 16th-ranked Illinois. And shout out to the Final Illini. They won this one 73 to 44. Slicing the ACC lead down to 3-2, and then the Iowa Hawkeyes taking down the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 81 to 65 to knot it all up to 3 with 2 games to go. And in those 2 games to go, you see Wake Forest. They was in Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Wisconsin Badgers in a very tightly contested game. Wake Forest edges out Wisconsin 78 to 75, giving the ACC the 4-3 lead. And the final game of Tuesday night was number 3, the Virginia Cavaliers in Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan had a double-digit lead at halftime, and they watched it evaporate before their eyes as Virginia, the UVA, comes back to win 70 to 68. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, giving the ACC the 5-3 lead going into the final night of Wednesday, November 30th. They just need 3 wins to clinch the challenge. And as we go to the 30th, we begin in Coors Gable with the Miami Hurricanes hosting the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Close game. Miami Hurricanes take it 68 to 61, giving the ACC the 6-3 lead. They are 2 away. And then from Coral Gables up by 4 to Tallahassee, Florida, when the Florida State Seminoles, having a disappointing season thus far, was hosting 5th-ranked Purdue Boilermakers, and Purdue was in control from start to finish, 79 to 69, putting the Big Ten to number 4, to the ACC 6. But then you had a top 25 showdown at Cameron, Illinois, between the 25th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State at 17th-ranked Duke. A hard-fought game back and forth. Duke finally took control and was able to hold on for an 81 to 72 win, giving the ACC a 7-4 lead. They just needed one more win. It didn't come at Nebraska because Nebraska took care of Boston College 88 to 67. It's a 7-5 lead now. And then it all ended at South Bend when the Notre Dame Fighting Irish hosted 20th ranked Michigan State Spartans. A 70 to 52 win gave the ACC the 8-5 lead, which gave the ACC the clinching game. But there was one more game left, a top 20 showdown in Bloomington, Indiana, Assembly Hall, when the men of the North Carolina Tar Heels took the visit to the men of the Indiana Hoosiers. And just like the Lady Hoosiers did to the Lady Tar Heels, the men did the same thing. The men Hoosiers did the same thing to the men Tar Heels. 77 to 65, with the final rankings being 8-6 in favor of the ACC over the Big Ten. Shout out to the ACC for winning both the men's and the women's challenge this year, the final one, as I said earlier. But there is a team on both sides. There's one team in the Big Ten that's getting a heat check, and there's a team in the ACC who's getting a flagrant foul. So that's what's coming up when we take this commercial break right here. And then when we come back, we got a heat check coming from the Big Ten. The Playmakers blog is proudly to announce that it is sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, where you can get all your official licensed sports gear, memorabilia, whether it's for the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or even into the National Soccer League, or even college sports. So rep your team, rep the hardware, get comfortable, because Fanatics is the way to go, where sports fans shop and official license everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shooting Light Side. As you see, we are finna get into the heat check, but before we do, I just want to reiterate that for today only, on this 5th of December, if you hit that link for fanatics.com and you can shop for 65% off site-wide with the promo code Modelo, MODELO. That is 65% off site-wide. The link is down below. Go ahead, get your shopping. You can get it by Christmas. Now, as you can see on your screen, the heat check is brought to you from the Big Ten, and it's the Purdue Boilermakers. The Purdue Boilermakers, currently ranked 4th in the country. They are 8-0 and have the top spot in the Big Ten thus far, as we are getting really getting into conference play right now. But it is how, and here is why the Boilermakers are a part of Heat Check today. As you can see, they started off the season against Marquette. They took down the Marquette 75-70 with a good win. Then they hosted Milwaukee and they took them down 84-53. And Austin Peay, they took them down 6. But yeah, those 3 wins, they should have had at least 2 of them, you'll say, but they 3-0. But where are we getting to? The Phil Knight Legacy Tournament, ladies and gentlemen. They opened up the tournament against West Virginia, Press Virginia, as we like to call them, when they was ranked 24th in the country. Beat them 80-68. And then the next game, the semifinals, it was against the number 16, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and Edey had his way. If I can bring up the numbers real quick, because as you can see, that is an 84-66 win over the Gonzaga Bulldogs, correct? And Edey had his day. They handled business in that one. That was very shocking to see what the Purdue Boilermakers did to the Gonzaga Bulldogs, but they did their thing, and you cannot knock it for it. So as I look at it and try to pull up the numbers here, because I know I remember Edey having a double-double. That was Zach Edey. He had 23 points. No, he had 23.7 boards. That was about it. But he got help from Lloyd with 14. Smith gave him 14. First off the bench gave him 10. Drew Timme had 29. Hickman gave you 15 for Gonzaga, and you only got 11 for Bolton. That was it. That was the difference right there. And they just handled business. And then from there, you had the championship game between number 8 Duke at 24. And Zach Edey, yet again, was dominant in that game. 21 points, 12 was for Zach Edey. Lord gave him 18 points. And they held the Duke Blue Devils to only 36% shooting and 10.5% from 3-point range. Dominant performance over West Virginia, Gonzaga, and Duke. Two of them teams are ranked, and Gonzaga being a top 10 team and Duke being a top 10 team. So that's 2 top 10 victories for them right there. And then obviously you see what we did with the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They went into Tallahassee and they handled business against a very surprising, disappointing Florida State team, which a lot of people did not see coming, because Leonard Hamilton has done a great job at Florida State, even though I am a Gator fan, but I tell her how it is. But Florida State, just a 1-8 start to start the season, is something that a lot of people did not see. 1-9, should I say, 1-9 to start the season, did not see coming. Lost their last 5 games. The only team that's worse than them is Louisville. They haven't won a game yet. They 0-8. And which is very surprising, but Purdue is handling business. And then they opened conference play against Minnesota at home, and they took care of business in Minnesota 89-70. And you can't be mad at that. That was back on That was back on December 4th, this past Sunday, on yesterday, should I say. And Zach Edey again being dominant. 31 points, 22. Good. He had a 31 and 20. He had a 30 and 20 game. 31 points, 22 boards. Lord dropped 20 and 8 assists. Okay, your bench gave you 25. I mean, this is what these boys are not playing. That's why they 8-0 and ranked where they are ranked as of right now. And that being fourth in the country. And they deservedly so need to be ranked fourth in the country. And as you can see here, they have a nice one coming up in a couple of days. They should be able to handle business against Westro. Then you on the road to Nebraska. Should be an interesting one. You got the Indy Classic against the Davidson Wildcats on the 17th. That should be a fun one. You got New Orleans at home, FMU at home. Those should be easy wins. So you're talking about 9, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13. They could be 13-0 when we go into the new year. And then in the new year, Rutgers come into play. And then the 5th of January, you're talking at the Buckeyes. And then after that, on the 8th, you're at Penn State. So you got some nice easy wins coming your way to end the year off. You should beat Holster. You should probably beat Davidson unless they reverted back to them days like Steph Curry. You should definitely beat New Orleans. You should definitely beat FAMU before you get back into your Big Ten conference schedule with Rutgers, Ohio State, and Purdue. And Penn State. So, but nevertheless, though, that's not the only games I'm looking at. Because on the 13th, you have your rematch with Nebraska. And then on the 16th, you head to Michigan State. That should be a fun one to watch with Tom Izzo. Let's see, can he get his boys back on the winning trail? Playing some good ball and whatnot. Then you play Minnesota again, this time at Minnesota, but you should take care of business against them before the 22nd when Maryland comes in, ranked 13 in the country. Currently, we'll see where they rank there when January 22nd gets here before you head to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines on the 26th. And your second matchup with the Michigan State Spartans on the 29th to end the month of January. So by the end of the year, Purdue should be somewhere at 12-0. 12-1, 13-0, somewhere like that. With Nebraska being that little iffy game right there. And then you got your matchups at the beginning of January, show you again between Rutgers, Ohio State, and Penn State before you get to the meat of it. The conference play with Nebraska again, Michigan State, Minnesota, Maryland. A very good game to watch. Michigan and Michigan State again. So Purdue was on a hot streak. They're undefeated. 8-0. Most likely will probably get to 13-0 before they really hit the conference schedule and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to their next games coming up. Let's see, can Purdue keep going and can Zach Edey continue to dominate what he's been dominating? That is the Heat Check, Purdue Boilermaker style. The Playmakers Bar is proudly to announce that it lettered a partnership deal with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus. Stream live sports from any device that you have, whether it is your computer, laptop, or even your cellular device. Catch breaking news live when it happens, and enjoy a mountain of entertainment from movies to shows to whatever you love doing. Paramount Plus. Plan starts at $4.99 a month, but right now, you can get a free trial. Just hit that link below with the Playmakers blog and start your free trial right now. Paramount Plus, Mountains of Entertainment. All right, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Paramount Plus is a great sponsor for the Playmakers blog and Shooting Lights Out. So get your free trial now, and then if you love it, $4.99 a month, you can't miss out. Now, those of y'all looking at the screen and you seeing the North Carolina logo. That is because it's time for what I like to call Flagrant Foul. For those of you who are new to the show, Flagrant Foul is a team it could be a player, a coach, or a team. Either they did something foul, they did something flagrant, or they performing very, very horribly. For those of you who have listened so far, I have done flagrant fouls on the Boston Celtics with Ime Udoka and the whole situation with him and Bright and that whole organization, along with Draymond Green. I've done flagrant foul on the Lakers at the start of the NBA season. I've done flagrant foul on the Bluegrass State that is known as Kentucky with the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals men's basketball teams. Now my next flagrant foul is on the North Carolina Tar Heels, and I'm talking about the men. This will be very evident why I have to do a flagrant foul on the North Carolina Tar Heels as my final one on here. Because as you recall, the North Carolina Tar Heels, they are coming off for being runners-up in the NCAA tournament, losing to Kansas in the championship game after ending Coach K's career by beating Duke in the Final Four, with all the starters coming back. Ahmad Beckott, Love, Black. You would think North Carolina would be who they are. And we're not the only one, because the committee thought so. The AP poll thought so too, because it's North Carolina. Everybody's back. So they put them up at the number one team in the country to start the basketball season off. So to start the basketball season off, as you can see here, they are now 5-4, 13th in the ACC, which nobody predicted, nobody saw coming, but this is where it is. All right. So with that being said, let me move on. Here's why they started off. They started off against some pretty easy team. North Carolina Wilmington beating them by 13. College of Charleston beating them pretty handily too, and then Gardner Webb beat them 72-66. Pretty make it good. The fact that game was that close, but nevertheless, 3 home games, 3 wins. You're rocking and rolling. Okay. Then we move on. You get to James Madison. James Madison, you beat them by 16, 80-64. You're still rolling. Then we get to the Phil Knight Invitational Tournament. And then in the first round matchup, you faced off against Portland because they needed a team to represent Portland because it was in Portland. And you could only beat them by 89-81. But you're 5-0. We're going to let you slide. And then things go south. You take your first loss to the Iowa State Cyclones 70-54, where the Cyclones shot 44% from the field. Where the Cyclones shot 44% from the field and 45 from 3. And the Tar Heels shot 44% from the field, but only 16.7% from 3. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Tar Heels were 3 for 18 from the 3 in that Iowa State game. It was terrible. Ahmed Beckott had 13 points, 9 boards. Black only gave you 6. RJ Davis 15. Caleb Love 12. You were outdone by Iowa State's Jaron Holmes, who put up 22 points. And I'm not being alone, Clayed Up Grill, who dropped a whopping 31 on the Tar Heels. That is loss number 1. And then loss number 2 came to the Alabama Crimson Tide, as you fought in the 3rd place game of the Phil Knight Invitational Tournament. It took 4 overtimes, and Alabama outlasted you 103-104. Armando Beckott 20 points, 10 boards. Black gave you 10 and 8. Davis gave you 19 and 9. Love 34 in line. I mean, it was a very back and forth affair. But you have Shire for Alabama with 24, 5 and 5. Quickly off the bench with 21, 6 and 8. I mean, you got 14 apiece from Miller and Medico. Gurley and Griffin. Gurley gave you 13 off the bench for Alabama. Bradley gave him 10 off the bench for Alabama. It took a lot to get this. It took a lot out of this both of these teams, but two losses in a row for the Tar Heels. All right, we can understand it. Yeah, okay, you lost to Iowa State, and you went into full overtime. Man, somebody had to lose. Somebody had to lose. And then the ACC Big Ten tournament took place at Assembly Hall. And North Carolina couldn't make a shot worth a damn in that game. And I watched that game. I know you see 77 to 65, and it's like, oh, they lost by 12. No, they couldn't hit a shot worth a damn. Indiana shot 50% from the field, 23% from three. Indiana was 31 for 62 from the field. North Carolina shot 34% from the field and 27.8% from three. They could not hit a shot. North Carolina struggled to put the ball in the bucket. Okay? Armando Bacot, 12 points with 10 boards. Nance, 15 points, 12 boards. RJ Davis, 11 points. Black, 0 points. Caleb Love, 13 points. Does that sound like a winning team to you? Like Nance, who is the younger brother of Larry Nance Jr., who plays in the NBA, he was the leading scorer with 15 points and 12 boards. He shot 4 for 11. Badcock shot 4 for 10. Black only took 2 shots and he missed both of them. RJ Darius 4 for 11. Caleb Love 5 for 16. Your starters by themselves was only made 17 shots. But they took, if my math is correct, 46 shots. 17 for 46 from the North Carolina starters. That is terrible shooting at its finest. Okay? If I was to do some math here and just look at the starters by themselves, because that's what they did. This is exactly what they did. Okay? I am dumbfounded by how bad this team shot the ball. I mean, they shot the ball very, very bad in that game, and I didn't expect them to shoot the ball that bad. They were 17 for 50. 17 for 50. That is 34%. 34%, man. That's the starters. That was the ACC Big Ten Challenge. But that's 3 in a row. Iowa State, Alabama, and Indiana. And then we're still not done because they opened ACC play not that long ago. And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. And they lost to Virginia Tech 80 to 72. Now, Virginia Tech is 8-1. You know, Indiana's ranked in the top 10. Alabama's ranked somewhere in there. I don't know if Iowa State is ranked, but I can look at it and find out for you. But this is the team that brought back 4 of the starters from the national championship game team. And this is not going well whatsoever yet again. 47% from the field, which is better, but they shot 17% from 3. It was 3 for 17 from 3. They had no Badcock. He's out, I believe, with an ankle injury. He was out. But Nance, 18 points, 10 boards. Black, only 2 points, 1 for 3. RJ Davis, 18 points. Caleb Love, 18 points. Which is not enough. It's just not enough. You're killing yourselves. So now, when we look at it, go back to the article that you also saw. And this is from the Associated Press. This is from earlier today. Houston, Texas, top men's hoops polls. Preseason number 1 UNC outs. That is right. The season started almost a month ago, and all of a sudden the Tar Heels are no longer ranked. The Tar Heels are no longer ranked. I can give you the top 25 just to show you how bad it is. Houston is at 1. Texas is at 2. UVA is at 3. And they haven't played Virginia yet. Virginia's on a tear. That was the last time I did a heat check on Virginia, and they still are on fire. Purdue 4, UConn 5, Kansas 6, Tennessee 7, Alabama is 8, Arkansas is 9, Arizona 10, Auburn 11, Baylor 12, Maryland 13, Indiana 14, Duke 15. There go your second ACC team. So we got to go from 3 all the way down to 15 to get another ACC team in here. Kentucky 16, Illinois 17, Gonzaga 18. Gonzaga was started off number 2, right behind North Carolina. They jumped all the way down to 18. UCLA 19, Iowa State 20, Creighton 21, San Diego State 22, Mississippi State 23, TCU 24, and Ohio State 25. You only got 2 ACC teams ranked, and one of them is not North Carolina, because North Carolina is currently 5-4 on the year, only 1 in conference play. They down here with Boston College, who's 5-4 and 0-1 in conference play. Florida State 1-9, 0-1 in conference play, and Illinois 0-8, 0-1 in conference play. This is where North Carolina stacks up in the ACC right now, 13th in the league. 13th in the league. That is where we at. And it's crazy that it is the way it is right now. I'm just amazed at what I'm seeing from the North Carolina Tar Heels. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Legends like Michael Jordan, Vince Carter. Okay. We can go on with the legends, you know. But matter of fact, one of the legends played for North Carolina. One of the legends that played for North Carolina is the one coaching North Carolina, Hubert Davis, under Dean Smith. So North Carolina, you're not playing well. You need to get it together. You have 4 guys who was part of that championship run team back on your team, and you're 5-4 through 9 games. Now you have a Georgia Tech team who's been up and down. Can you beat them on the 10th? You have 5 days off, 6 days off, should I say, because you don't play again till the 10th. Beckout, hopefully he can be back by then. And then you have the Citadel on the 13th. Those are 2 winnable games. I would like to think so, but you never know with y'all at this moment in time. Before you get to the CBS Sports Classic on the 17th against Ohio State. And then from there, you have the other Big Ten team that is most known in the Michigan Wolverines for the Jumpman Invitational on the 21st. Before you face off and get back into ACC chunk and ACC play with Pitt to end the month and to end the year before we go into the 2023 year. So yes, as I see right here, North Carolina, you guys are being assessed a flagrant foul. And I hope y'all get it together before it is all over. All right. That is all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in on today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those of you who are listening to the audio version, go ahead, leave a nice review. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what I can get better at. And we can keep moving forward with shooting lights out. I am the Playmaker, Darnell, Sallins. I'll catch y'all next time.
Good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.
Masterpiece.